TinkerCAD tips. I was recently working on this project where I was designing a status indicator for Octoprint. I use Octoprint on my 3D printers, and it uses a 35 LED ring light, which you see here, and some software called WLED that runs on a little single board computer. But there's a design aspect of this that I wanted to show everyone. So I have the case for this, and I have a lid for it. And I wanted to attach the lid to the case by using some screws. And if you look at the bottom here, you can see that I have insets. The base of this is 5 millimeters thick, and these holes are 6 millimeters. I use a certain type of screw. And what I wanted to show you here, and one of the problems we often run into, is how to make sure that those screws tighten up as we begin attaching them together. Now, if I zoom in here, here's the posts that I have in the lid. Let's go ahead and make this transparent. And you'll notice here that this is tapered. That allows the screw to start easily, and as it begins moving in, it starts grabbing more and more plastic. So let me show you how I designed those. It's fairly easy. So over here I have a representation of an M3 screw, an M3 by 10. The top of this screw is 6 millimeters in diameter, it's 3 millimeters thick, and the shaft of it of the threads will be 10 millimeters long, so the total length is 13. So over here I have kind of a representation of what this looks like when it goes through the base and into this post. So let me show you how I put those together. We'll zoom out a bit here. Let's move these off to the side. We'll begin with the base part of it. I'm going to reduce this to 5 millimeters. So that represents the thickness of my base. Then I want to create two holes through this, one that's a little larger than 6 millimeters and one a little larger than 3. So we'll begin with the 3 millimeters here, bring the cylinder out. There's no need to increase the number of sides here. I'm going to hold down Alt and Shift. I'm going to click on a corner, and I'm going to make this 3.1 millimeters, just slightly larger than the shaft of the screw, so it'll go through easily. Then I'm going to bring out another cylinder here, whole cylinder. Alt Shift, click on a corner, and I'm going to make this 6.2, and I'm going to make this 3 millimeters tall. That will represent the depth of the top of the screw here. So let's bring these over here. Let's select the two of these. Let's align them together. Okay, now I want this top portion to be the height of this square piece back here. So I'm going to select the rectangle, Shift select that cylinder, click alignment, click the red one to make it the master, click on this upper one here. Now I can take the two of these. Let's take all three of these actually, select them all. Click Align. I'm going to click on the red one to make it the master. Center this way. Center this way. Now if I select all three and group those together, let's make it yellow and let's make it transparent. So if we zoom in there, you see we have a hole all the way through it. And then we have a larger hole for the head of the screw to fit into. Let's go ahead and bring that up. Now let's do our post portion of this. Let's bring out yet another cylinder. Go ahead and make it yellow. Alt Shift. I'm going to click on a corner. I'm going to make this 8 millimeters. So I have enough material all the way around so that it's got something to bite into and won't break. Let's increase the height of this just a bit here. Okay, now let's make that tapered hole. So we're going to bring out a cone here. We're going to make it a hole. Now, notice over here that all of our measurements are in radius. We have top radius and base radius. So to make measurements a little easier and to be in diameter instead, I'm going to hold down Alt and Shift again. I'm going to click in a corner, and I'm going to type 50%. So now you see where the base radius says 10, and this is also 10. I'm going to make the top, where it says top radius, this is actually diameter. I want to make that 3.1, just slightly larger than the diameter of our screw, remember. Come back here, I'm going to make the base radius just 2. Now, remember, this is 10 millimeters in length. We have 2 millimeters that's taken up by this, so that leaves 8. I want to make this 9 millimeters long. That'll provide 1 extra millimeter. I'm going to shift select this post, click Align, click on the post to make it the master. Click up here, center it this way, center it this way. Now I can grab the two of those, select them, group them together. So now you see we have a tapered hole. All right, let's bring our base here. Let's grab our work plane here, put it on top of that post. Now we can hit the letter D. That'll bring the base down to the top of the post. We'll put the work plane back. Let's align the two of these that direction. Now we look down the side. Now we can take our screw here. Let's do the same thing. We're going to shift select the base. Click Align. I'm going to click on the base to make it the master. I'm going to click here to align to the top. Down the center, and there you go. Now if we zoom in here, you see I have just a little bit of tolerance around the head of that screw in the base. If we move down, you can see a little bit of tolerance in here. And as that screw begins to intersect the post, zoom in, there's a wee bit of tolerance in there that you can see right there. And as it goes down into the post, it begins to bite on the plastic. Zoom out. We'll select that screw. Now I can hold down the control key and cursor up. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see how as that screw goes in, it would begin biting into that plastic. And at the bottom, I've left a little bit extra space here, 1 millimeter of extra play. And when I actually did this in practice and I put this unit together, those screws work perfectly. So there's a quick TinkerCAD tip. You know, if you're not going to use brass inserts, and if it's something that doesn't need a lot of structural strength, you can do this just by using the plastic and the threads of the screw to make a nice tight fit. It'll tighten up more the further you screw into it. There you go, another TinkerCAD tip. As always, like, follow, reshare, add to favorites. If you have any questions or comments, leave those for me. And if you have any other things you'd like to see done in TinkerCAD, drop me a DM. Let me know what you'd like to see and what I can show you guys in TinkerCAD. Happy tinkering!